Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Tony Mejia at Mejia Dinero on Twitter, and our good buddy Jeff from Oskheim Sports at Oskheim Sports on Twitter. Just so you guys know, right now through the end of November, $199. Head over to WagerTalk or sportsmemo.com. You can get your favorite capper for the rest of the month. All right, time to talk some ACC football. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, now a 13.5-point favorite at Boston College, total 48.5. Jeff, I'm going to start with you. I'm kind of thinking maybe the Irish are primed for a letdown spot here after that great win over Clemson.
I think so, Kelly. That's a great fact to point out. You have Notre Dame coming in off a historic win, a double overtime win over Clemson, and I was really impressed with what the Fighting Irish did in the trenches there. They really dominated on the defensive side of the ball. They finished the game with a 34% stuff rate, and they limited Clemson to 2 yards per rush. So that was pretty good. But there was some turnover luck that the Notre Dame benefited from. They had 3 turnovers that they recovered, including a scoop and score for a touchdown. They gave up 426 yards passing to Clemson, their backup quarterback. That was the most in program history for the Fighting Irish. And their post-game win expectancy in that game against Clemson was 42%. So there was some positive variance that Notre Dame benefited from. On the flip side here, you have a Boston College team that survived the classic look-ahead spot. They were in Syracuse at the Carrier Dome last week. They escaped that game 16-13 with the win. I really like the Boston College as an underdog. You look at what they've done. They're 17-7-1 against the number as dogs over the last 4+ years. They're 8-0 against the number as a home dog of 15 or fewer points. That's what we have here. I think Notre Dame is in a classic letdown spot, like you said, Kelly. I like Boston College plus the points. I would actually sprinkle a little bit on the money line. I think the Eagles are a live dog.
Ooh, you always guys like to entice me with that sprinkle on the money line. Tony, do you agree with what Jeff said? And I know that you have an opinion here on the total.
Yeah, Kelly. I mean, look, they got North Carolina up next. So that's a bigger game than this one. And we have the Phil Jerkovich revenge factor. He sat behind Ian Book. Notre Dame fans clamored for him to get the job at one point when Book was struggling. But I really like Notre Dame's offensive line. Obviously, they returned all 5 starters, and those guys have proven legitimate. I mean, they were able to physically stand up to Clemson. I think when I was handicapping that game, I was just nervous about what Clemson was going to physically be able to do to impose their will on Notre Dame, and Notre Dame held serve and actually impose their will themselves. They've potentially got wide receiver Braden Lenzy coming back from a hamstring injury. He's supposed to be their number 1. Javon McKinley stepped up. Avery Davis stepped up. And the reason why I like the total is because I think Boston College is going to play right with them. The weather's going to be good. It'll be in the 50s, so a nice crisp day at Chestnut Hill. And Jerkovich he's a legitimate quarterback, and he really thought that he should get his shot at Notre Dame, hung in there as long as he could, then transferred over, got an immediate waiver, and he's putting up numbers, 2,100 yards, 15 touchdowns so far for a 4-2 BC team that really looks the part. So David Bailey, the running back, isn't A.J. Dillon, but I don't expect the Eagles to be stuffed the way that Clemson was, and that'll set up play action. Boston College has receivers that can take advantage of a secondary that is vulnerable. You got Zay Flowers, obviously, is a number 1. Ohio State transfer Jalen Gill's a weapon. The tight end Hunter Long create matchup problems. C.J. Lewis has stepped up with Kobe White out with an ACL tear. So BC has dudes, and I think they'll show up. We'll see about the spread. I would tend to agree with Jeff and take the 13.5 points, hopefully get to 14.5 past that key number on Saturday. But my favorite play is going to be on that over, and I'd like to get it as low under 50 as possible, but I think we'll hit it.
All right, great stuff from Jeff and Tony. Make sure you guys head over to our WagerTalk YouTube channel and check out all of our other videos up.